My name is Falina Norred. Jonathan, my son, was born April 16, 1986. He died February 18, 2019, and he died from Carfentanil poisoning. He had enough in his system, as the autopsy report revealed, to kill 10 people. Yes, Jonathan. He was raised in nature. We lived up in Halliburton on Eagle Lake, so he spent so much time outdoors in the woods. He loved the outdoors so much. He went to Fleming College for the Outdoor Adventure Skills program, where he learned more skills related to the outdoors. He was influenced by this book called Last Child in the Woods. And the point of the book is that, for children to develop their brains, they need contact with nature and they need to be in nature. So I think that's a really important message that Jonathan really wanted to get across, and that's what his plans for the future were. He wanted to really bring together his outdoor skills and psychology and mental health wellness.
Look at the beautiful artwork. Look at the beautiful artwork.
In 2006 was a pivotal year for him in terms of mental health challenges. He withdrew, and I believe when he began using, although I did not know at the time that he had an injury at workplace and was prescribed Percocets. This is an opiate, and his addiction started there. The way that he told me is that a lot of the mental health problems that he was having began as he was in recovery. John just came to me one evening and said, "Mom, I need your help." And that's when he told me that he was struggling with addiction that he'd been using, and he really desperately wanted to stop using, but he couldn't stop, and he had so much physical pain. I my heart broke. It's just like, of course you don't, of course, tell me everything. I'm here to help, and I, we're in it together, and that was all. He always knew I had his back. No, I never lost hope. No, I was, no, I never felt hopeless, because he was getting treatment, and he was doing so well up until a couple of days. Like, it was this relapse that he had. He was completely clean and he was healthy. He had a relapse where he was doing oxys, but he asked for cocaine, which is a non-addictive. So when he asked for help, what we did is I went to counseling at Forecast and for a parents group to figure out how I could best support him. I stayed with that. I didn't stay. The counseling only lasts for 8 weeks, once a week, 8 weeks, right? That's all you get. So I got as informed as I could on how to best support, and kept the lines of communication open with John. And he got on it. That's when he got into the program on Suboxone treatment, which is, studies show it helps. It helped him manage the physical pain. He was in so much pain, and also reduce the cravings, so he could work, so that was his treatment. But he got tired of going to the clinic, because you're chained to the clinic, and you're highly visible. The clinic is right across from the bus stop, and so I think he felt that there was some stigma. John was a very private person, so he didn't share a lot with me. But the one thing that he always said is he felt so much shame. And yeah, he felt so much shame. And I just, I was always trying to affirm to him that he didn't need to feel shame, that it's an illness, and that, and that he came by this through the medical system, I guess, but also through a lot of emotional pain. He told me that, part of it, when he was dealing with so much emotional pain, that the drug takes the pain away, not just physical pain, but emotional pain.
Too late now.
No, it isn't.
We're done cooking.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I really like
Maybe that's
doing
not
videos.
enough. Okay. Sadie has a small plate. Wait,
Hey,
you only eat this much?
I was speaking to him that day. Like I work overseas in the Middle East, and there was at that time an 8-hour time difference. So his afternoon was my evening. And so I spoke with him, and I felt so guilty afterwards because he had just been back in Peterborough for a week in our house, the house that he grew up in Peterborough. I went to bed after our conversation, and there was one message that came through after I'd fallen asleep, and I got up in the morning and I saw that message on February the 19th, and I said, "Oh, sorry, I fell asleep." And I said, "That's great news." He was talking about this job he was going to apply for at Algonquin Outfitters. And I said, "That's great." And I got up to make my coffee, and you know what? I heard his voice in my head. I don't know if you believe in the afterlife or messages from people when they pass, but I heard his voice, strong and clear, a message for me, and I went, "Whoa, why did I just hear John speaking?" And that was on the 19th in my time. He had already passed by the time I woke up in the morning, but I didn't know. The police, the cleaning lady, found him in the morning on the February 19th, and the way that the Peterborough police do things is they talk to my neighbor. We're very close, and she was traumatized by all of this. They said, where is his next of kin? That's his mother. She had my phone number. She had my email. They would not contact me. And I was there. And the police were there with my neighbor, and they did not tell me. I had to find out another day later in the morning when I had all of these frantic emails from my son, my surviving son, telling me that Jonathan had died. And then I had to travel 24 hours to get home. I had to try and get a flight. There were no flights until the evening. The officer read my son's diaries, and they determined that his death was accidental because there was no indication of, self-harm. As far as I know, there's no investigation. My son was poisoned. He didn't have the drug of choice. He didn't have any kind of drug that anybody would ask for. He had pure Carfentanil. I think that whomever is putting Carfentanil into powder and selling it as whatever, cocaine, they should be held accountable. It's manslaughter, murder. Carfentanil is an elephant tranquilizer. It's not meant for human consumption. And it kills people. That's what's killing people. People are not overdosing. They're being poisoned. One of the trips that we talked about that we'd like to do would be the El Camino trail in Spain. It takes 1 month to hike it. He was such a great hiker as well. Yeah, and I feel he's with me every day. If I had 10 minutes to talk to him, I just want to know that he was happy. It's what I keep on praying for. And also, of course, that, he knows I love him forever.